DND number 12, Feed My Sheep, in Jesus' name, chapter 5. It is still November 25th. It's Monday night, Tanner home, Pine Forest, Georgia. Keegan drove through the large iron gate and pulled into the garage. He turned the car off and just sat there, looking around him. He'd driven into his garage thousands of times over the past 18 years. Tonight, however, it seemed different. It seemed unfamiliar. He glanced over at Lizzie's minivan, parked on the other side. In the adjacent garage was Rose's and Violet's cars, and Daisy and Lily were parked in the drive in front of the garages. And Gabe used to park his truck behind the garage. Gabe. Keegan sighed. Gabe's bright smile and mischievous personality were sorely missed around here. Now, though, Keegan had another son, Isaiah. He wondered what kind of personality this new young man would have. Would he be shy or outgoing? Would he be as bright as Gabe? It would be interesting, Keegan thought, to see what personalities the two new children would have. Keegan had learned that each one of his children thus far were different and unique. Though the 5 eldest girls looked so much alike, they were distinctly different. Heather, quiet and responsible. Rose, with her toughness and confidence. Violet and her delicate, precise, calm, and feminine ways. Daisy, with her logical mind and adventurous spirit. And Lily, with her solid, maternal nature, very much like her mother. Then little Iris, who was ultra-confident and brave and bright and very much a girly girl. And Gentian, where would she be on the spectrum between Rose and Iris? Keegan drew a deep breath and went into the house through the kitchen door. He could hear the low murmuring sound of his children talking softly to one another. It was such a pleasant sound. They were in the den, and he stood just outside the den door to listen for a moment, not to intrude on their privacy, but to relish the moment. I remember it vividly, Heather said softly. The guy had you by the arm, Lily, and I was terrified, and Mom fought him so hard. But he finally kicked her in the stomach, and she still got up and tried to grab the wheel from the driver's side. I think he punched her in the face, and she fell from the moving car. It's a wonder you survived, Gabe. I remember too, Daisy said, and I was only 4, but I remember being so happy when Dad came back with Lily. He was like this Superman person in my eyes. He still is in my eyes, Heather said. Me too, they all said. Keegan teared up. He had to clear his throat as he walked into the room. Dad, Rose said. All the girls jumped to their feet and hugged their father. Gabe remained seated because he held Iris on his chest as he'd patted her back until she'd fallen asleep. So, instead, Keegan walked over and placed his hand on Gabe's head. Son, Gabe nodded. Dad, we were just talking about you. Keegan nodded. I heard part of that. It's very humbling. He took a seat on the large sectional sofa and put his arms out, and immediately his daughters snuggled up close to him. He sighed. Thanks. I needed that. How's Mom? Gabe asked. She's doing very well. The babies are healthy and already nursing. Mom's back is causing her a little bit of pain, but she's coping, as she always does. She's a real trooper. They were silent a moment as they thought about that. Gabe sniffed. I thought she was leaving us. Keegan nodded. I know. She told me you were begging God to not take her. And Jeffy said her blood pressure was dangerously low and she was in danger of leaving us. Well, Mom was talking about soft green grass and a tree and Bradley Anderson, Gabe said. I think she was dying. Well, she was in the place that you described, the place you went to when you saw Jesus. And Jesus spoke to her and he gave her a choice. Gabe blinked, but he couldn't speak because he was remembering the place and how beautiful and peaceful and wonderful it felt. What choice did he give her? Rose asked. She could stay there where she was comfortable and peaceful, with no pain and no struggle, or she could come back here and stand side by side with her family and fight the battle against evil. So she chose us, Daisy said softly. She did. She said she could hear Gabe crying, begging her to stay, and she could feel his anguish and his pain, and as tempting as it was to stay, there was no way she could stay there, knowing the hardship her family would be facing. Thank goodness, Lily mumbled. Gabe didn't say anything, but the tears welled and fell on his cheeks. Rose looked over at him when he sniffed. Oh, sweetie, it's okay. She grabbed a tissue and went to him and blotted his cheeks and eyes. So, when can Mom come home? Violet asked. It will probably be Wednesday. She's desperate to somehow be a part of things on Thursday. We'll have to figure something out. Rose nodded. Well, we already have a classroom set up for the Kino and Adams children. We could have an adjacent classroom set up with some cribs. Not just for our babies, but for Elijah and the Stewart twins, too. And a good, comfortable chair for each of the mothers to nurse the babies. Even if they're in a different room, at least they'd be at the facility, and they'll feel a little bit a part of it. And maybe one of us could go in and watch the babies a few minutes so that Mom and Aunt Lisa can take a stroll around. Dad, Gabe said suddenly, you know what happened at the inn tonight? Yes, I do. We're going to have an agent on each of you until further notice. And in addition, we have 50 agents scheduled for the event itself and 20 scheduled for the big volunteer meeting on Wednesday that's being held at Pine Forest High School gym. How many helpers do we have? Rose smiled. 500. Gabe's eyes opened wide. Oh, wow. It takes 500 people to serve the food? Oh no, serving the food is the easiest part, but we have cooks and counselors and pastors and music and gift bags to hand out and doctors and nurses and church choirs, school choruses, the UGA baseball team, compliments of Peyton, and a lot of John's and Brian's students from Apple Martial Arts and also students from George's Kino Martial Arts, all coming to help in any way they can. There will also be the mayor and other politicians and country music celebs that Toby's bringing in. It's a huge undertaking. And I'm in charge of it all, and I pray it goes down without too many problems. Rose, with all this, I'd say you're holding up pretty well, Gabe said. She nodded. Thanks, little brother. And she hasn't said this, Gabe, but she's mostly worried about how it goes down since it's being done by the Gabe Tanner Community Center, Keegan put in. She doesn't want to mess up your good rep. Gabe smiled at Rose. Silly Rosie. My rep is too good. You could never mess it up. Rose and her sisters laughed. You are so cocky, Rose responded. He grinned. No, really. We're going to do the best we can do. And if that messes up our good name, then we're catering to the wrong people. But it won't, because the people we're supposed to touch, the ones we're supposed to help, they'll be put in front of us. As long as we keep service to God foremost in our minds, there is no way for us to fail. Wow, Gabriel Tanner, Heather said softly. You really have grown into an awesome young man. Oh, thanks, Heather. It's not me. It's just listening to Mom and Dad and my sisters and other teachers. I'm a quick study. You've always been smart, Gabe, Violet said. I'm so proud of you. As am I, son, Keegan said softly. So, I'm going back to the hospital first thing in the morning. Your mom says to stay here and help Rose, and don't you dare take time to come and see her. She says she'll see you on Wednesday, and the extra time apart will make her homecoming even sweeter. But that means that I won't be here to help, so you'll have to work a little harder. Well, Jericho and his crew said they would volunteer to come and take care of any details we missed, Rose said. Keegan nodded. It will be duly noted. Remember to set up a nursery room with several cribs or smaller bassinets and rocking chairs with cushions. Buy what you need, I'll cover it. Rose nodded and put it in her notes. Got it. If I've forgotten anything else, let me know, people. Oh, what about the contents of the gift bags for everyone? Gabe asked. Well, all the supplies have been delivered. I was counting on Jordan and Taylor and Jamie, Josie, and Erilyn to fill all the bags tomorrow. Jordan won't be able to join them until she gets back from getting her cast replaced, but Taylor can handle it and boss around the younger ones until Jordan arrives. Gabe nodded. How many bags do we have to do? Well, at least 5,000, though we're reaching for more, and there are ones for adults and ones for kids and ones for men and ones for women. Got it. We'll make it happen. We also have Lucas and Charlie and Matt. Yes, but we need their strong arms and backs moving cases of water bottles and boxes of supplies first. And then they can help and open the boxes for them and transport the bags that are completed to the back halls. And I have wagons ready. They'll fill the wagons with the open bags and fill the bags with the supplies. And when one wagon is full, someone can take it to the back hall and unload it, and while they fill up the other wagon. Sounds like you have everything planned to the last detail, Gabe said, which wouldn't surprise me at all. Rose smiled. I think I do. From how many pans of mashed potatoes we need to hosting and counseling to entertainment and prayers and everything in between. Still, if you think of anything, let me know immediately. Will do, Gabe said. And don't be afraid to call on the people who came here to help you, because they have wide resources. Rose nodded. I'm counting on that. Okay, everyone, let's have a prayer and hit the sack. Try to get some sleep, Keegan said. Oh, Dad, Gabe began. Peyton is going to pick me up at 6:30 in the morning so that we can do breakfast together. Keegan frowned. Well, I'll let Dalton know so that Agent Key will be here before you leave. Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't think about that. Well, try to think about it, Gabe. Someone wants to hurt you. You thinking of your own safety will help to relieve some of my stress. Yes, sir, I promise. Keegan looked around at 7 of his 9 children. I love you all so much, and I'm so proud of every single one of you. Keep up the good work, kiddos. We have a long way to go. Yes, sir. Gabe, we've missed you. Will you honor us with a prayer? Happy to, he said with a smile. New scene. Jordan, are you awake? Jordan opened her eyes and smiled at Taylor. Well, I am now. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just teasing. What's up? I can't sleep. I'm feeling really jittery. Jittery like scared? I guess. Well, it is an old house with a lot of history. Taylor smiled. Well, that's not what I'm afraid of. Well, then what? Taylor sighed. I mean, someone wants to hurt Gabe, or someone close to Gabe, and I'm really close to him. It makes me nervous. After everything that's happened this year, I've changed from being strong and bold to being a chicken about everything. Oh, don't beat yourself up about it. It's completely understandable, Taylor. I mean, after that rapist guy beat me up so badly, I've had some pretty bad anxiety myself. I wish Gabe was sleeping down the hall. I'd just sneak into his room and then I'd feel safe. I get it, sweetie. Remember at your house you went to sleep in your parents' room for a while? Taylor nodded. Yeah, at least that made it where I could sleep. So, your parents are just down the hall, right? Yes. Do you remember what room they're in? Number 1. I'm sure they wouldn't mind if you went to talk to them for a bit. You know what? I think I will. But will you be okay? Oh, sure, I'm fine. At least I think I am. I have a little headache is all. I'm going to try to sleep. You want me to get Miss Jody to make you some tea? No, please don't wake her up. She works so hard. You want me to get your mom? No, same thing. Besides, she's up another flight of stairs. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to go talk to my parents. Good night, Taylor. Night, Jordan. Love you. Jordan smiled. Love you too. Taylor grabbed her robe and phone, headed down the hall, and knocked on her parents' door. Come in, her father called softly. Daddy? Yes, Taylor. You okay, sweetie? Something about the sudden relief she felt at the sound of his voice made her eyes fill, and she sniffed. Dad, I'm scared. Come in and close the door, baby girl, her mom said. Taylor came in quickly and was invited to crawl into bed to sleep between them. They lay there quietly for some time. Taylor, do you want to talk about it? Her father asked. She yawned. Not right now. I just want to sleep. He chuckled. Well, good night, sweetheart. Night, Daddy. 5 minutes later, Ricky spoke again. Oh, one more thing, Taylor. Yes, sir. So Jordan is all alone in the room? Yes, sir. Did you leave her your phone by any chance? No, sir. Okay, go to sleep. He reached over and picked up his phone and called young Eric. Dad, everything okay? Taylor was having a hard time and she came in to sleep with us, which means Jordan is in her room alone with no phone and no crutches. And that makes her helpless and vulnerable. I got it. Thanks, Dad. Good night, Eric. New scene. Jordan lay in the dark. thinking about the exact thing she shouldn't be thinking about, namely, the night she was almost beaten to death by some crazed rapist. She was also thinking about the feeling of being alone, in the dark, in a big, old Southern home. And then she really began panicking when she realized she couldn't text 3 because her phone was in the bottom of the pool. And her crutches were out there too, somewhere, which meant she was stranded, stuck, and Taylor was gone, so she couldn't talk to her or get her to call 3 for her, and she felt the panic start and her breath started coming in huge gasps. Sitting up in bed, she reached for the light. What could she do? Earlier, she thought if she needed to go to the bathroom, she'd just stand up and hop. So she stood now. She was immediately dizzy. Taking several deep breaths, she got her bearings and hopped to the door of the room. She stood there by the door, her hand on the knob. She wasn't stranded. She could hop everywhere she needed to go. She was okay. She was okay. Then why didn't she feel okay? She wanted to go down the hall to find 3, but she didn't even know what room he was in. She could go to the Kinos room, she thought. Taylor said it was room 1, though she hated to bother them. But maybe she could just knock on their door, poke her head in, and quickly ask which room 3 was in. Was she desperate enough to do that? They would understand. They're always so kind. She nodded as she made up her mind to do just that. Turning the knob, she opened the door and screamed. "It's me. It's just me," young Eric said quickly as he stepped forward to grab her before she fell backward. Her eyes rolled back and her body went limp, and he gathered her into his arms and looked around him in the hall. His father and Logan and Mark and Joey all stood there. John Apple came running up the stairs a few seconds later. Sorry, guys. I went to knock on her door the same time she opened it, and I scared her," he explained. "Dad, please tell them why I went to her door. I gotta take her to bed." "Yeah, I've heard that one before," Joey quipped. Everyone chuckled as young Eric carried Jordan inside the room and closed the door behind him. Out in the hall, Ricky quickly explained that he'd called young Eric and told him to go see about her. He glanced at John. "Sorry to wake you, John." "You didn't. I was getting up. Toby just texted me to open the gate, and they just pulled in, so I hope we won't be disturbing you as we get them settled in for the night." "Oh, not at all. I think I'll stay up and help you welcome him." Meanwhile, inside Jordan's room, young Eric carried Jordan to her bed and laid her down. She looked up at him, tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry I screamed. I wasn't expecting anyone to be on the other side of the door." He smiled as he sat down next to her. "It's okay, Jordan." Leaning over her, he stroked his hand over her face. "How you doing? You feeling okay?" "I'm better now that you're here. I was feeling a little panicked. I was on my way out to try to find you." "Well, I'm here now," he said softly. "Will you stay with me, please?" "Of course, but I'm a little weak right now, so you'll have to help me." "Weak?" She looked into his eyes. "Oh, weak. Got it. Well, I have a pretty good headache going on, so no messing around, 3. I just want you to hold me. Would that be okay?" He lay down beside her and turned toward her. "That would be great. Would you like me to get you something for the headache?" "No, I don't want to bother anyone." "Jordan, it's no bother. Besides, John is up checking in the Nash family. He has all of Granddad's teas and probably some of Jeffy's new meds. I can run get you something." "I don't want you to leave me." He sighed. "Okay, then I'll do a little acupressure." He took her hand and began to press and massage between her thumb and forefinger. After a few minutes, he changed to massaging her face, the point between her brows, the bones under her eyes, her forehead, and finally the bones behind her ears. He watched her as he ministered to her. He was so in love with her, and it hurt to know that she was hurting. He sighed, and she opened her eyes. He smiled at her. "Any better?" "So much better," she said softly. "You are so good to me." "People are usually good to the ones they love." "You really do love me, don't you?" He smiled. Yeah, I really do. I don't lie. And I know my own mind." She sighed. "I really love you, too." "I believe you." She giggled. He stopped massaging and pulled her in close to his body. "Try to sleep, baby. We have a long, hard day tomorrow." She snuggled up close, pressing her face against his neck. You smell good." Ah, yes, the clean smell of antiseptic. It's always a turn on, he joked. Antiseptic? Yeah, from when Aunt Jeffy stitched up my arm. She sat up. What? Oh, yeah, I guess you didn't know. One of the dudes I fought, he cut me. It's not bad, though. Very shallow cut. He pulled her back down. How many stitches? 11. 11? She exclaimed as she sat back up. He pulled her back down. It sounds bad, but it's not. It's a long but shallow cut. It probably could have gone with butterfly bandages, but Jeffy didn't want any chance for it to open back up. No big deal. I didn't even know I'd been cut until Dad saw me bleeding. Now, stop talking and go to sleep, he said as he closed his eyes. She sighed in disappointment. He opened his eyes and smiled at her, pushed her onto her back, lowered his head, and kissed her soundly. Better, he said. She smiled and closed her eyes. Better. New scene. Ricky stuck his head back into his room. Everything's okay, ladies, he said. Young Eric scared Jordan. That's all it was. And John said that Toby has just arrived, so I'm going to go down and help welcome him. Okay, sweetie. Taylor and I will tough it out until you get back. That's my girls, he said. Closing the bedroom door, he trotted down the stairs, wearing only his pajama bottoms and a charcoal gray t-shirt. John was just opening the door of the inn. Toby, John said, welcome. Y'all come on in. Toby laughed. Y'all? John grinned. I've been practicing. Toby came through the door with 2 large pieces of luggage. He was followed by his wife Caroline and daughter Grace, who each had a smaller piece of luggage, and lastly, son Brody, who had 2 more large pieces of luggage. Toby looked up to see his good friend standing there too. Rick, hey man, you didn't have to get up just to see me in. Of course I did, Ricky said jovially. The family set the luggage at the bottom of the stairs and turned to greet their host and their friend. John and Ricky shook everyone's hand and kissed Carol's and Grace's cheeks. How was your drive? John asked. It was good for me and Caroline, Toby said. Not sure about almost 6 hours in a car with the young'uns. We were fine, Daddy, and you know it, Grace said. Toby smiled. We did have some fine discussions, didn't we? Caroline smiled at Ricky. They wanted to rehash how Toby and I met and then how we met again in New York, and they think it's a grand story. Ricky nodded. They're right. He looked at the kids. Did they tell you they were all over the national news? Yes, and all about Mom's hooker friends and about the deranged teenager who kidnapped Mom. Ricky nodded. And about the horse? Toby and Brody laughed. Yep, they both said. Carol and Grace rolled their eyes. Brody shook his head in wonder. When I grow up, I want to be just like my dad. Except you'll be married, right? Toby added. Oh, yes, sir, of course. But Dad, I mean, on a horse. That's impressive. More impressive for the horse, Toby said. John laughed. So, is there any more luggage or anything you need from the car? Nope, I think we have it all, Carol said. Are you hungry? John asked next. No, we stopped and had a late dinner, Toby replied. Don't bother with us, John. Just tell us what rooms we're in and we'll take care of it. Don't tell me how to do my job, John said in mock sternness. Toby chuckled. Yes, sir. John smiled. Toby and Caroline, you're in room 5. Grace, you're right across the hall in room 6. And Brody, hope you don't mind that we're going to have you bunk with JoJo in room 8. We were going to have all you young guys out in the cottages, but we've had some trouble here, and we don't want anyone out there who isn't trained. So then, who's in the cottages and what kind of trouble? Well, Jeffy and Cam are in number 1, because Cam can handle anything that comes his way. He's a machine. And Heather's fiancé, Nolan, is in number 2. He's not trained, but he's well armed. And as far as the trouble, let's see, nutshell version. We found out today that several people have been paid to mess up our endeavor, to cause trouble, and in one instance, one was told to hurt Gabe Tanner's sister. And we're not just talking about little pranks. Rose was almost stabbed to death this morning. And tonight, young Eric intercepted 5 guys out back while he and Jordan were walking. 1 shot was fired, he said, as he pointed toward the broken glass in the back window. And Eric got 11 stitches in his arm, and Jordan, Eric's girlfriend, was knocked in the head and thrown in the pool. If not for Jeffy, she might have drowned. So these guys are not messing around, Toby muttered. Right. So fair warning. You can take your family and head home if this makes you uncomfortable. Toby looked around at his family. It was Caroline who spoke. We don't cower. We face everything head on, even if it's dangerous. Right, guys? Absolutely, Grace said. Toby and Brody both nodded, knowing that protecting the two women would be up to them. We certainly can't let someone keep this event from happening, Toby said calmly. We're in, and we're also armed. All of us. Ricky smiled and John nodded. Good. So let me at least help carry some luggage up the stairs. Toby smiled. If you feel you must. John grabbed one of the large pieces from Toby and Ricky and took the two smaller ones from Caroline and Grace. Let's see. John grabbed one of the large pieces from Toby, and Ricky took the two smaller ones from Caroline and Grace. Punctuation makes a difference. They saw them to their doors and handed them their room keys. Make yourselves at home. If you want to raid the kitchen, feel free. If you need anything, call me. I mean it. Your comfort is important to us. There are extra towels in the small closet in the bathroom and extra blankets and pillows in the top of the bedroom closet. John, we're fine. Go get some sleep, Toby said. John glanced at his watch. So, it's close to 11. Breakfast will begin as early as 5:30 and will last until 10. What time is everyone headed off to the center? Carol asked. Well, most everyone will eat about 6 to 6:30 and be off, except for maybe Shelley, because she's got the 5 kids to dress and feed. Or Breeze, because she's got 3. Or maybe Bella, because she's expecting and has Emily. Or maybe Jeffy, since she's nursing. Carol laughed. So, everyone except the moms with little ones. John shrugged. Yes, except Jewel, whom you haven't met, and her 2 kids who are a little older. Jewel is Jordan's mom. And Jordan is young Eric's new girlfriend, right? Grace said. Right. I can't wait to meet her and her family, Carol said. She smiled. Well, good night, you guys. John smiled. Good night. Ricky kissed Caroline's cheek. Good night, Caroline. Always so good to see you. Carol's face turned red and Toby frowned. Rick, stop messing with my wife. Ricky grinned. Sorry, Toby. She looks so sweet standing there. She always does, Toby conceded. Toby, open this door and let me in, Carol ordered. Yes, ma'am. Ricky and John said goodnight one more time and left the family to themselves. New scene. Brody turned with his key and let himself into room 8, and Jojo sat up and immediately turned on the bedside light. Sorry, Brody said. No worries, I wasn't asleep. We're all trying to sleep, but for us it's only like 8 o'clock, so I was awake. Brody smiled and dumped his luggage on his own bed and headed over to Jojo to shake his hand. When Jojo offered his left hand, Brody frowned at him. I watched the game. Tough break. Jojo nodded. It is what it is. So what's the prognosis? Brody asked as he went about unpacking his suitcase. I'm scheduled for surgery to repair a level 5 or 6 separated shoulder. And then I'll have 12 weeks of recovery and we'll start physical therapy. It's going to be a long road back. I'm sorry, man. So, are you in pain? He nodded. Yeah, some. It comes and goes. I have some pills, but I don't like taking them, so I try to go without as much as possible. Brody nodded. So how's your coming season looking? I mean, you're ranked like 3rd, right? Jojo asked. We're ranked 5th right now. Hopefully I can change that. Jojo nodded. 5th is a good place. What's your current average? I'm batting .426 right now. 3rd in the nation. Geez, Guy, that is fantastic. Thanks. Are you still going to be at 3rd? Brody nodded as he kicked off his shoes and pulled off his clothes. So, to be that skilled at 3rd base and hitting like you are, you'll go pro for sure. You know you shouldn't say stuff like that. Jojo smiled. Yep, I know all too well. So, is that your goal, to go pro? Brody nodded. Yes. I love the game, I love the job, and I think I can do a lot of good. So, why do you ask? Was going pro not your goal? Jojo frowned. To be honest, Brody, I'm not sure. I was feeling pretty burned out. I've been playing football since I was a little kid. I missed a lot of family time, a lot of church time, and as you know, even in the off season, you're still working hard and focusing on the game. I was beginning to think that it's not what I really want to do. It's almost like I kind of manifested this injury. He shrugged. I've been doing a lot of praying and a lot of soul searching. I just really don't know where I'm headed right now, but I'll trust God and be ready and willing for what He asks of me. Brody nodded as he stood in his boxers and t-shirt and thought deeply about what Jojo just said, and then looked up suddenly. So, Joe, just a hypothetical question then. What if you hadn't been injured and you got drafted? Would you have gone with it? Jojo nodded. Good question. I think I had it in my mind that if that's how it all played out, then that's what God wanted me to do. I've always prayed and asked God to let me know His will for me because that's all I really want to do is His will. And young Eric and I and Logan, we've discussed the fact that if we're doing God's will, then it doesn't matter how well or how hard it turns out to be, we'll do whatever He asks us to do. So, in my mind, if football kept going so favorably, then I thought God was telling me that that's what He wanted me to do. And what I'm saying is, if I hadn't gotten hurt and had gone pro, I figured that was what He wanted me to do. But lately, I've been thinking along the lines that there is something more I could do, more for the kingdom, not just play a game. And lately, I've been thinking if I do go pro, then the games are on Sundays mostly, and I've always seen myself being at home with my family on Sundays. I also began to see like these visions of me working with kids, teaching them, helping them, mentoring them. Lots of kids. Brody nodded. So maybe you are getting messages from God that He does have something different for you than playing pro football. Well, I've been thinking exactly that, and I'm fine with that as long as it's what God needs me to do for Him. I'm all in. Brody sighed. You're making me think about my path. I mean, I've always wanted to play pro baseball as long as I can remember. I've pursued it because it's what I wanted to do. I mean, the emphasis on I. I thought since I'd been so blessed with it that it was what God wanted me to do, but I haven't really asked Him if He wanted something different for me. I just assumed it was my path. And it probably is, Jojo added. I mean, you seem to be, as you've already pointed out, very blessed in this endeavor. Maybe, Brody said softly, but still, even if my path is baseball, I need to be thinking not what I want, but what God wants for me. I need to tweak my thinking. No matter what He blesses me with, I will serve Him. Jojo nodded in agreement. No matter what. Brody sat on the edge of his bed. As always, Joe, speaking with you is intriguing and compelling, thought-provoking and stimulating. Jojo chuckled. Oh, I'm sure. Mind if I kneel here a while and pray? Of course not. Have at it. Brody eased off the bed and got down on his knees facing the bed. You want the light on or off? Jojo asked. Off, I think. Thanks. Good night, Brody. Night, Joe. And that is the end of chapter 5.